Yo, what it is, you know what it is. It's your man, King Musa. Welcome to the Hub Hero, the podcast dedicated to exploring the 7 dimensions of wellness and how they impact your life here at Stephen F. Austin State University. I'm your host, King Musa, and today we will be diving into physical wellness. In this episode, we'll dive into the essentials of maintaining a healthy body through regular exercise, proper nutrition, adequate sleep, and routine medical checkup. I'll be talking with Miss Marie Jessup, our campus dietitian, to explore the nutrition education programs available at SFA and how they can support your physical wellness. Let's get started. Joining me now is Marie Jessup, our campus dietitian. Welcome, Miss Jessup.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Okay, before we get started, something that I do like to ask is, what's your favorite snack?
Yeah, so favorite snack would probably be anything with peanut butter on it.
Really?
I'll eat peanut butter several times per week. Yep.
Like peanut butter pretzels?
Peanut butter toast with bananas on it.
Right.
Peanut butter and yogurt. Peanut butter and banana. Yes.
So is the myth true that like nutritionists, they eat like just healthy snacks like carrots and stuff? Because there are like some students, that's what they bring to class, while some other students bring chips.
Yeah. So for dietitians and nutritionists, for us, it's all about balance.
Right.
So you will see us sometimes eat not so healthy, and sometimes you will see us eat super healthy and granola. So yes, have I had celery and carrots with hummus? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have I had some of the unhealthier things too? Yes.
Okay.
So we just like food.
All right. As long as y'all eat regular people food too. I was just wondering like.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
That's fine. Let's go ahead and dive in. How do you define physical wellness and its importance for students?
Yeah, so physical wellness for me would be all about balance and sustainability. So I think a lot of times we have really high expectations for ourselves when it comes to physical wellness.
Right.
And that can kind of be our downfall sometimes because we'll have these really high expectations. Like we'll go on our diet or our fitness journey for a couple of weeks to only have failed our high expectations only weeks or
Right.
Days or weeks after. And then we don't try to do anything to enhance our physical wellness. So for me, it's all about balance and sustainability and really asking yourself the hard questions of, what's going to be beneficial for me in this season with my current resources, if that makes sense.
I know a lot of students, like incoming students, when they get on campus, they want to take advantage of the rec. They want to, go to Chick-fil-A, all these things. So how do you end up understanding a good balance?
So a good balance. I think for a lot of students, they, come from a place where they have a lot more structure in their lives. They're coming from high school, right? And they're maybe, at home living with their parents. Their parents are cooking for them. So when they do come to SFA, they're having to make a lot more independent decisions on their own.
Right.
And so it takes time for them to prioritize, physical health and well-being. Maybe when they were in high school, they were playing a sport and they had it already scheduled into their day to exercise.
Yeah.
Well, now at SFA, they're going to have to, provide some mental space to say, oh, maybe I should go to the rec center and check out some of these amazing group fit classes that will teach me how to move well and not get hurt. Or maybe I should eat a little bit more vegetables in the dining hall. Or maybe still enjoy my Chick-fil-A several times per week, and to know that cutting that out completely is not sustainable.
Okay.
And so it just takes them, just like anyone else, it takes them time, trial and error.
Okay. So whenever your body lets you know it's time to cut down, you're going to know. That makes sense. Why is proper nutrition a crucial component for maintaining physical wellness?
Right. So, without proper nutrition, our body doesn't run as smoothly. Our brain doesn't work as well. I like to tell people that that proper, food and nutrition is kind of like fuel for a car. You know, like if a car gets you from point A to point B without the right amount of gas or the proper type of gas, it's not going to get you there well or as quickly or as efficiently as you want to. And so for many students, they just don't know how to nourish their bodies well for physical performance or mental performance.
No, that makes sense. Do you feel like the fast food options and everything like on campus starts to mess with like a person's day? Like, does it make it more drowsy? Do you find like energy through that?
Yeah, so I think that our fast food and processed foods, in moderation, are great because, a lot of times these foods people enjoy. They've grown up on these foods.
Right.
If you look at the food that they serve in high school and junior high, a lot of times it's, it's pizza and it's fried chicken or what is it? The chicken fried steaks.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe missed that for a second.
So we've actually started to bring that back into the dining halls because it was a request that students had. But yeah, so a lot of times this is just kind of what they grew up on. But yes, it absolutely can mess with, your blood sugar regulation. It can cause excessive fullness, which could make you tired and sleepy and drowsy. So yes, absolutely. Learning how to balance fast food and processed foods is key to a balanced and sustainable diet.
Okay, I like that. Who can benefit from nutrition education programs provided on campus?
So yeah, so I'm a part of Lumberjack Eats, and we're the company that brings you the food here on campus. But
Right.
we don't just bring you the food. We bring you lots of wellness events and also my services. So like you said, I'm a registered licensed dietitian, and I provide free nutrition consultations to students and staff
Yeah.
here at SFA. So anyone, any student or staff looking to pursue physical wellness or want to improve their diet, some may have a disease state that they want to know how nutrition can impact that chronic disease.
Right.
Some people want to establish a better relationship with food. Some people are having issues understanding what hunger and fullness really is because of
Yes.
all the food noise that we have in today's society. So I'd love to be able to help these students. It's by far my favorite part of my job.
I like it. Personally, I'm a person who experienced the dietitian part. And I'll say my favorite part was literally the easy meeting of just being able to schedule it through the app and everything. And then being able to talk about, I guess, my past, my, what I eat now, and then my goals of where I want to get to. Right. So how easy is it for students to access you and schedule a meeting with you?
Yeah, so I have contact information on our Dine on Campus site. So it's just dineoncampus/SFA. I also have contact information in our front office, which is right across from Dining Hall 1923. My office is pretty easy to locate. It's right behind the info desk in the Student Center. And also, I'm pretty student-facing. A lot of times you'll see me running around the dining hall getting
Right.
ready for a wellness event. And if you know me, or if people that know me always tell me that I'm probably the least intimidating person on the face of the planet. So
Yes.
feel free to come up and ask for contact information, and I'll point you to the right direction for that.
I like it. When should a student seek out nutrition education and support to improve their physical health?
Right. So that's going to be very individual to the student, right? I think whenever they have motivation to do so, or maybe they're worried that they're not getting in the proper nutrition, or maybe they're having symptoms of brain fog or not being able to focus or chaotic eating patterns, or they just don't think something's right with their diet. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, maybe they want to help their fueling. Maybe they're a recreational athlete and they want to improve strength gains. These are all reasons to reach out to myself or another dietitian.
I like it. Would you say you get more students in the beginning of the semester, and that's kind of the time everybody's a little bit more aware of their physical health or just their goals that they want to set for college?
I think that is a true statement. I actually, over the 4 years that I've been here, I definitely see more students wanting to sit down with me and talk nutrition at the beginning. Also the beginning of January, right? Everyone's New Year's resolutions. And then there's also another wave right before spring break.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, there's a good balance throughout the semester.
Gotcha. When would you recommend it's the best time for students to come?
The beginning is great because they haven't gotten overwhelmed with all their school and events and campus organizations yet.
Right.
So that is absolutely a good time. You usually have a little bit more time on your hands. You're still trying to figure out your schedule. Then on the other hand, throughout the semester, maybe you've already kind of figured out your schedule and you know where your pockets of time are. So I think that's very individual.
Fair. Where can students find information and resources related to nutrition and physical wellness at SFA?
The campus rec is huge, right? They have lots of fitness trainers and coaches there, group Axe Fit classes. Like I said, I went to those religiously when I was a student here,
Right.
and they're super beneficial. I would say the Wellness Hub, right? You walk in there and you start feeling more healthy. There's just a lot of resources there at the hub. And then, of course, myself, again, I offer those nutrition consultations. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
I think one thing that I started to appreciate more was when you get into the dining halls, they have all the screens that have the nutrition facts, and they have, of course, the name of what you're eating that day. Implementing that, do you feel like that brought a bigger change to the campus?
Yes, I think it can make, dining in our dining halls a little bit more, I guess, health conscious. Like people can kind of be a little bit more health conscious when walking through the dining halls.
I know there's like rooted and everything in the dining hall.
Right. So those that want to be plant forward can eat at that station. Absolutely. We have a little icon on our screens, a protein icon, and I think that's been kind of that's been taken off, and students probably appreciate that, knowing which items have more protein. It's really popular right now to get enough protein in, and so that can be really helpful for those students.
Yes. Hey, y'all gotta check out that salad bar. Like, they have everything at the salad bar. I think that's one of my other favorites.
Yes.
How can students incorporate the principles of good nutrition and regular exercise into their daily routine?
So I would say start small and increase slowly to make sure that you are making sustainable lifestyle changes.
Right.
Definitely check out our dining hall. I think a huge dining hall hack that I have is to not just eat at one station. And a lot of students, when they come in, they don't really know how to navigate our dining hall. So one simple way to incorporate more healthy eating into your everyday life is to, look at all the stations and maybe pair two together, or maybe get a potato from the Delicious Without station,
Right.
and then a healthier, leaner meat from the home style, or utilizing the salad bar and the home style station. So that could be one way, is to kind of just to navigate the dining halls well. And then also, again, check out the campus rec.
Yeah.
We also have a lovely arboretum on campus, so walking through that, and just making sure that you have community around you. You don't just stay in your dorm room.
Right.
Get out and socialize.
So I know right now, where's my phone at? Here it is. There's an app that once I met with you, I was able to kind of keep up with not just the food that I ate, but Healthy, right? I believe is that app.
Yeah, so Healthy is the platform that I used for all my consultations. That's kind of where I keep track of students and chart and whatnot. But it's also student-facing, so they can use it to log food, take pictures of their food, and a lot of times they can send it to me, and I can kind of critique it if they want.
Yes, my favorite. Trust.
So it can be a very helpful resource for the students, yes.
Yes, and I enjoyed it because I can track my workouts in it. I can track my water intake. I don't know if it really did like sleep and everything. I didn't pay attention to it, but definitely I love sending the food versus having to type in everything that I ate, and that kind of helped me understand. Okay, you having Starbucks in the morning, then having Chick-fil-A, and then everything else you're eating after is not the best choice. So that really did help a lot of that. Do you have any more advice for students?
Yeah, so I do have like 3 main general nutrition recommendations for students. I think everyone has individual nutrition needs, so these are very general. But if you want me to dive into those, I'm more than welcome to.
It's your time. Go ahead.
All right, so 3 general nutrition recommendations to help you enhance your physical wellness. The first being to honor your hunger and your fullness cues. For some, this comes really, really naturally, as when we are, infants and young children, we usually eat when we're hungry and we stop when we're full.
Right.
But as we grow up, we may start to have different eating patterns, depending, and different relationship with food, depending on our environment, our circumstances, and some traumas that we may have growing up. So sometimes it's not till adulthood when we realize that we're not necessarily eating because we're hungry, but we may be eating because we're bored or stressed or anxious. The opposite can happen too, is that we can ignore hunger and go for long periods of time. And this is really popular with students. They'll stay in the library for hours on end and just kind of ignore hunger, and then they find themselves overeating later, or maybe making some poor decisions or choices when it comes to their food. So when I'm counseling students, I've learned to ask them, when do you actually feel hungry versus when do you eat your meals throughout the day? So that is one recommendation that I give, is to really hone in on honoring your hunger and your fullness cues. And if a student is struggling with knowing when they're physically hungry and full, right, because we have all that food noise in today's society, I'd love to help them kind of sort that out the best I can.
Right.
So second recommendation would be focus on whole foods.
Okay.
So I think that we can make healthy eating very complicated, right? With all the social media out there and whatnot, we get different nutrition messages left and right.
Right.
But when actually looking at the research, time and time again, we see that whole foods promote physical wellness over processed food, and eating an excessive amount of processed food and fast food can be harmful to our bodies. So what is a whole food, right? So a whole food is a food that is minimally changed or not changed at all from its natural form.
Okay.
Versus like a processed food is going to be changed and chemically altered to produce a different type of food substance. So, for example, a roasted potato would be a whole food, right? And a potato chip would be more of a processed food.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm definitely not saying to cut out all processed foods, right? Because we want to make sure that we're living a sustainable lifestyle, and cutting all that out is not sustainable, right? We enjoy potato chips, right? Also, processed foods can be a great fuel source for athletes, whether you're, an NCAA athlete or a recreational athlete, just depending on the timing of that. A lot of times these processed foods are really easily digestible and they don't cause any GI distress for that athlete. So depending on the timing, it can be a great fuel source for athletes. But the big message is to prioritize these whole foods and try to make them the bulk of your diet. All right, last one.
Okay.
Is to eat foods with color often.
Okay.
So I'm sure that our listeners know that I'm not talking about artificial colors found in processed foods like Skittles, right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about eating that rainbow. But I'm
about to say, does blue count? Blue raspberry?
yeah. In moderation, right? That's a dietitian's favorite word. Moderation. But yes, eating lots of colorful fruits and vegetables and prioritizing that. Most people don't know why we recommend that. It's just that their parents recommended it. But these foods are really rich in vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals.
Yes, ma'am.
That are rich in antioxidants. So it helps to fight disease, bolster your immune system, and to improve exercise tolerance, and a lot more. So again, these are very general recommendations, right? To honor your hunger and fullness, focus on whole foods, and eat foods with color often. But for those who do want more specific questions, maybe they want to know if they can eat after 8 p.m. or they want to know how much protein they need, or maybe they want to know if they need a protein powder to increase lean body mass. They're more than welcome to make a nutrition consultation with me.
I have a personal question.
Absolutely.
I got in trouble today from the lunch lady because she hasn't been seeing me at breakfast. And she told me I need to get up for breakfast because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Can you give me some nutrition facts about that, please?
Yeah. So that is very interesting question, because I get that a lot, right? And it's very individual to the person. I would say if you wake up and you're hungry, absolutely, grab some food. If you wake up and you're not super hungry, that's when we kind of have to look at the diet as a whole and figure out if it's beneficial for you to eat breakfast or maybe to wait until you're actually physically hungry to eat. So I'm going to leave it at that because I think it's very specific to the person. You
know what? I'm going to just schedule a meeting so I can actually know. And I'll be like, look, my dietitian say I can wait till 10 o'clock. But the omelets, I just missed that. Until we get the omelets back, I'm kind of waiting on that.
Yeah, so summer dining is a little bit different than semester because we're having to work with camps and whatnot. So you will have all your favorites back at the start of the semester.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Well, I appreciate you, Ms. Jessup. Thank you for sharing your valuable insight on physical wellness and how nutrition is available for our students. That wraps up today's episode of The Hub Hero. Remember, maintaining physical wellness is vital for your overall well-being. Don't hesitate to utilize the resources available here at SFA. Subscribe to our podcast for more insight on other dimensions of wellness and your weekly dose of wellness tips and advice. Connect with us on social media to share your thoughts and stay engaged with SFA's community. Until next time, stay healthy and active.